Good to see you.
Good to see you, finally. We get to have this conversation.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Please.
Congratulations, it's my first time in your room.
Thank you. What do you think?
Do you want me honest? I'm honest.
You can tell me. You can tell me after the interview.
But it's good. It's good.
I hope we'll be seeing more of you. Huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So first, I want to say thank you for your time and amazing work and conversations that we've been having. Last time we had a conversation was on the panel for the League of Women Voters.
Yes.
Talking about the special seats, the reserve seats bill for women. And really, November seems to ring a bell in everybody's ears. And my conversation with you today will be looking at all of the journey so far, and we're here now. But first, when a lot of people hear the reserve seats for women's bill, there are different perspectives to it. And the reserve seats bill for women, when you think about it, when you think about democracy, how instructive is it right now?
Well, this bill would be instructive at any time you look at it. Not about today. I mean, from the 9th Assembly, we've been trying to get this passed. It talks about broadening the base for representation, for inclusion. MDG, I think, Agenda 5, both legislative agendas in the House of Representatives and even the Senate. That's just where it's headed. So at any time we talk about a bill such as this, we're talking about inclusion, which is major. Particularly in the 10th Assembly, I have to say, though, that the noise, the positive noise and the energy that has gone into getting this passed in the 10th Assembly has been phenomenal. And I'm
unlike the 9th Assembly?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. There's so many innovative things that have been brought about by the Constitution Amendment Committee. As you know, what we're trying to cure is a gap that we have seen. And we're trying to avail ourselves the opportunity to amend the Constitution to take advantage, because Section 42 of the Constitution says you can't discriminate against any Nigerian, and one of the grounds is on sex. So whatever we need to do, we need to go back to the document, the originating document, and see how we can, work it out to allow such a very important bill to go through. And I say that honestly, with all sense of responsibility, I am very happy with what has been going on, especially with people like yourselves and also the work that has been done in the National Assembly.
Okay, so let's look at the process and the politics. And I'm asking this because many Nigerians wonder what really happens behind scenes before bills like this get to the floor, really. Can you sort of walk us through the internal dynamics, and the process that has brought us here? And I'm asking this, remember, you just mentioned the 9th Assembly. There was a lot of conversation. I was on the protest under the sun for 2 weeks with so many Nigerian women. First ladies came, and yet, as helpless as the speaker could be at that time, the bill was thrown out. Here we are again, positive energy, positive noise. What is the dynamics before the bills comes to floors like this?
As you were speaking, I just remembered what happened in the 9th Assembly. At some point, there was a set of gender-specific bills that were brought. Yes, they were brought before us for consideration, because I was a member of the House of Reps at the time. And at some point, I recall that the Speaker was alarmed the way the votes were going. It was electronic voting. And he had to pause to remind members that, look, this is a very important piece of legislation. The world is watching. Are you guys aware of the gravitas of what is being considered? So he put the question again. It's not about a last-minute fire brigade approach. The way it goes, like I said earlier, this needs our Constitution to be tweaked. And we are taking advantage of the process. Now, this is one of the most important committees in the House. In the House, it's chaired by the Deputy Speaker. In the Senate, is chaired by the Deputy Senate President. These are presiding officers. That's how important these committees are. And so, of course, it will go through the first, the second reading and all of that, which has concluded in both chambers.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that why I'm a bit comfortable or more comfortable than the Ninth Assembly is because of the level of work that has gone into the consultative process this time around.
Okay.
There were regional dialogues. I went to the Southeast region. I believe I saw you. The entire country was covered, and all the key stakeholders have been engaged. Governors, remember, after it passes in the National Assembly, we still need the concurrence from the states. And that is where, a lot of work needs to be done. But I'll save that. I'll come to that in a minute. What will now happen is, having been brought to the table by the National Assembly, having gone through the process, which is the first, the second reading, the public hearings, the consultations and all of that, the dialogues, so many other dialogues have happened, and so many interest groups have jumped in on the conversation, and they're saying, look, we need to get this done, and these are the reasons, and these are the reasons. So those things are ongoing. I think the National Assembly has done a good job to get us this far.
Okay. At
this point, we need other stakeholders and interested parties to become interested. This is our constitution that we're amending. The key things that I would like to mention is that, number one, no existing seat is going to be affected. I think it's important that the people who are going to take this decision are not going to start pushing back because perhaps whose seat are you going to convert to a special seat? No. This is called additional seats. This is another way to call it. Everybody says reserve seats, but it's actually additional. At the moment, we have about 1,460 seats in Nigeria, and only about 64 is, the numbers that we have in the National Assembly is about 4% representation. And it's been going down from the 8th Assembly to the 9th Assembly to the 10th Assembly. If left unchecked, we might come in the 11th Assembly and you will not find. There are some state houses of assembly in Nigeria that there is no woman.
14 states.
Exactly.
14 states.
So as a responsible parliament, we're looking at the things that we can do using the instruments of, legislative instruments to see how we can avoid disaster, because it would be a disaster, simply put, to have a National Assembly filled with just men.
Not yet tragedy yet.
It will be a disaster.
Let's just... Okay, so I'm going to take it from where you talked about, I hear political will, underlined in this conversation. So there are different parties in Nigeria, different political parties, different political interests. And, when you look at the body language of some of the members, when this conversation comes up, do you see, consensus or quiet resistance?
Well, I must say I have not seen the consensus yet, but I can tell you the political will is there. There has been a lot of effort, but we're not there yet. It's not yet Uhuru. We still have to engage. We have to lobby. The women would need the men to get this done. So we still need to bring everybody on the table. That nobody can do it on its own. And what we need to sell is the advantages. And let me give you an example, typical. Okay. So you bring a policy or you bring up a piece of legislation before Parliament to make it illegal for underage marriage.
Okay.
And all the people that will take decision on that piece of legislation are all men. What we're trying to do is to ensure that for every piece of policy, every piece of legislation that is before Parliament, we are aggregating a broad-based opinion. Like, it's inclusive. You are getting advantage. You avail yourself of the best voices, the best minds, the best reason, and all angles are considered. Okay. That's just an example. There are reasons to make Parliament in the world inclusive, to make governance inclusive. It's not an easy decision, mind you, not just in Nigeria. We have had women that have been from first-class democracies that have put themselves for office and have been voted down. It's not a right. It's something that we need to negotiate, and that's what is going on at the moment.
Okay, so in terms of talking about rights and will, some argue that the reserved seats might undermine merit or create the issue of tokenism. Talking about the Constitution as well, how do you look at that perspective? Because it's out there.
So what this is a trial run. So it's just going to be something we're introducing as a reaction to what we have, a trend that have raised concerns in Nigeria. I think the proposal is to run for 4 electoral cycles, and then it will be brought before Parliament again for consideration, whether we want to expand it, whether I want to scrap it, whatever it is. So there will be onus. The onus will be on if it passes and it becomes law, so it passes the National Assembly, it goes to the states, it passes, the president signs it into law, and we run it for 4 cycles. The onus will be on those women that will emerge to prove that there was a reason or there was a gap. We look at it and it has merit, why not? Otherwise, this is something that has a sunset clause.
Sure.
It is just to bring it on stream, and then we can make the evaluations.
So as the countdown begins, because we're hopeful that the votes would commence possibly at the end of November. Supposedly it was supposed to be on 4th of November, but it's been moved. As the countdown begins, what is the biggest factor that could determine the outcome of the votes?
So, Ada, we have the numbers for this stage. So this is a marathon, right?
Yeah.
So we've started somewhere, and it needs... First of all, we need to be mindful that whatever happens in the National Assembly needs to be concurred in the states. Okay. So all the stakeholders, all the critical stakeholders are important. As we're engaging at this level, and then we're having conversations among the stakeholders, the state houses of assembly need to also take ownership and feel connected to the process. Other stakeholders, the governors...
Indeed.
The governors, very, very important. The traditional institutions. What I'm saying essentially is that we know all of these people that will have something to do with the bill getting passed. But the first stage is the 360 House of Rep members and 109 senators. We know them. We know their offices. We know their constituencies. We can reach them. As of today, we should be in a position where we're saying that we can identify the ayes and the nays. We should be able to start crunching the numbers. We just need 2/3. We should be able to say, this legislator is in, this one is out. And that can only be achieved through intensive lobbying, engagement. We can't get tired of engaging. Even on the floor, on the date of voting, there will still be a lot of horse trading, a lot of conversations, a lot of convincing that will be going on, pros and cons. But hopefully, if we get it, I know that in the House of Reps, for example, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker have started some kind of caucus dialogue. So caucus by caucus are being called to examine the bill, to clarify the gray areas, to ask questions, to make sure everything is clear, so that people can make a decision based on the facts before them and as against perhaps their cultural background or their religious affiliations or their own personal ethos. No. Take this on its merit, do the analysis, and make up your mind. Okay, hopefully we'll get it done.
Okay, so now this question brings me to the National Assembly Library Trust Fund. In terms of research, data gathering, and mapping, is there going to be a role? Because I'm thinking tracking, how do we track the support or monitor the positions of lawmakers? Is that something that the library is also looking at? And then the voting process, because Nigerians want to know. Someone said, I want to know if my senator voted against women so that in the next election,
you can.
So all of that. So is there going to be a methodology to that?
It's like a game of football. Only the 11 players on the field will count on the day. If you're not a legislator, you will not be in the room. You will not be able to. But at the library and resource center here, what we're doing is that we're providing support to the House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Amendment.
Okay.
We're supporting with our legal researchers, and we're partnering on across the entire process for constitution review, including the reserve seats bill. We have held different events here. I remember we had a lot of stakeholders on this particular bill, where we've had meetings with other development partners, and we're still open to continue to provide support to the process.
Okay. So finally, this one, I think you would have to speak to the camera, because I want the lawmakers to see that you're speaking to them.
Sure.
What would be your message to them? I mean, they're your colleagues. Some of them are your friends. Some of them are mentors. Especially they're the ones who hold the majority of seats, and they will be the ones voting. What kind of message would you want to put out there for them? Because again, man to man, you would know the kind of conversation back. I mean, there is always leveraged on ego. So what would be your charge?
So my final charge, or my appeal to members, honorable members and distinguished senators of the National Assembly, there is nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. This is a process that involves the creation of additional seats. So if you're looking at it from the attraction of democratic dividends to your state, it has an advantage. INEC, if this goes through, will be required to delineate fresh constituencies that will be allocated as the special seats. I think there are going to be 37 special seats from the House and 37 from the Senate. There's no risk on existing structures, political structures. There's absolutely nothing to lose. Imagine your wife, imagine your sister, or imagine any important woman in your life that has a political ambition, only to be excluded based on the capacity for perhaps financial deep pockets or other considerations that are cultural or religious. This is a positive thing. This is contained in our legislative agendas. This is part of the MDG, I believe it's Goal 5, that talks about inclusion. We are willing, and I think the National Assembly has already begun that process effectively to amend the Constitution. There's absolutely no reason for us to be afraid. Let us avail ourselves the opportunity to study this bill, ask questions, get the facts. If there are any gray areas, this is the time to ask those questions. I believe once those areas are clarified, there is nothing holding us back. I encourage us to please support this and make it happen, to put Nigeria on the stage where women's voices count.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
You're welcome.
But this was, I mean, you couldn't have put it any more easy. And like Jesse Jackson would say, inclusion is not a matter of political correctness. It's about growth.
Absolutely.
And you speak to that in all its entirety. Fingers crossed.
It will go through.
Amen. Amen. And well, that's what we can take today. And you've heard it. Insightful, deeply detailed, layered, and coming straight to you from the heart. I guess we may not have spoken about certain things we spoke about backstage. But the truth is, the reserve seats bill is a bill for Nigeria. It's a bill for democracy, but most importantly, it's a legacy bill. Till I see you again next week, my name is Adaora Sydney-Jack. Thank you so much, and let's pass the reserve seats for women.
Mommy, why don't I see any women in parliament?
My daughter, that's how it has been since even I was a little girl. No, Mommy, this has to change. Women make up 50% of Nigeria's population and less than 4% in the National Assembly. Our country cannot compete productively with one hand tied behind its back. Let's pass the reserved seats for women's bill. It's not about women alone, it's about our whole nation.
Pass the reserved seats for women bill. Pass the reserved seats for women bill. Pass the reserved seats for women bill. Pass the
My name is Nwawuba Gabriel. I've been inspired by trailblazers like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who have made global impact through determination and leadership. The likes of Chief Osasigbine Ogocha, Madam Toun Okwewale Sonaya, Madam Abia Lagbe, and our dear Dr. Adaora Sydney-Jack, amplifying our calls for us to believe that girls can indeed lead. Men like Hamza Lawal leading men's voices forward, that women indeed have a place. Dear leaders, we have come to you with a heartfelt plea, a broken heart that only the passage of the bill can heal. We're grateful for the unwavering support of our Honorable Benjamin Kalu and Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and our dear Honorable Khalifat Ogbara, whose advocacy for the reserved seat for women bill has been instrumental in pushing for change. We're not demanding rights, we're asking to be heard. We're not seeking special treatment, we're seeking opportunities for a democracy that works for all. We're not trying to take anyone's seat, we're trying to have a seat at the table. Women are the backbone of this nation. We're the ones who nurture, who care, and who build communities. But our voices are often silenced, our contributions overlooked, and our potential untapped. We urge our leaders to endorse the reserved seat for women bill. We want to be a part of the decision-making process. We want to contribute to Nigerians' development. We want our voices to be heard and our stories to be told. Please, Nigeria, hear our plea, endorse the reserved seat for women bill, and let's build a nation that values, empowers, and uplifts women. The time for change is now. Let's make it happen.
All across the nations, all around the world, women are longing to be free. No longer in the shadows, forced to stay behind, but side by side in true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace. Women can't be silent when all around the world people hurt and hungry children cry. We'll sing out loud for justice and development and hold the rights of other people high. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace. Women now are working to build a better world, where the love of peace can rest on every shore, where men lay down their weapons and learn to love and share, and people work to bring an end to war. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace.